All right, so we are gathered here to show you how to use Xtrans to segment a multi-speaker audio track into its various speaker segments and transcribe what's been said on it. So we're going to assume that you've already downloaded Xtrans, Xtrans. You can find it on Google. We know it works on a PC. It's free. We assume you've already downloaded it, so our purpose I explained. We're going to show you some things like how to open an audio file, how to create a transcription file. Then you're going to basically want to listen to it. However many speakers you hear, you create each speaker. In practice, we found that we want to segment it into a bunch of speakers, and only then, once you've done the segmenting across the whole tape, then you go in and you go back to the beginning and start typing in what Bob said for his first turn and what Fred said on his first turn in response, and then Bob had another turn after Fred, and you type in with that, and then Fred said something, and so on. So we're going to teach you opening an audio file, creating a file, Alt-M, Alt-P, Tab, Control-N, and various keystrokes like that. So, are we ready? I think so. So, if you could show starting Xtrans. Oh, right there. So you double-click the icon. This is what the overall screen looks like. So, we want to open an audio file. We've already recorded this interview, and because this happens to be clinical data and we don't have a lot of time, unfortunately we're going to have to keep the audio off because to respect patient privacy, that's what we need to do. So we're navigating to where the audio recordings are, and there they are. You see a whole bunch, a lot of transcription to do. So he just opened it by double clicking. Now look, there's the audio. You can see those little squiggles, and that's the audio track. I guess so we've opened the audio file, and then our current file name is unnamed.tdf. So the file, the sort of markup that this thing makes that contains the transcription and the segmentation is a .tdf file, which is basically a spreadsheet readable by Excel, for example, Microsoft Excel. Okay, so next step. Go ahead and say what you do.
You're always going to want to save the file, so we'll just give this simple name like Bob and Fred. And then save.
Okay, so now we have Bob and Fred up there. All right.
And then before starting the audio, you're going to want to move your mouse over here and click this box.
So hold, can you show that again? So there's this red line, and you're dragging that with the mouse. Okay, so you move it, that's at the very end of the recording, I guess? Okay, and so you click that box.
So we can get full audio. Otherwise, you're only going to be able to hear it out of one of the speakers.
Oh, that just means stereo. Oh, okay, so you click that little box. Now we have stereo.
And then to start listening to the audio file itself, you want to drag the mouse over to the very beginning where it marks 0.
Oh, so that's like basically a tape head that you're dragging across the virtual tape. Okay.
And then you'll click right in this box area.
And click left, correct?
Yes.
Okay, click left.
And then that creates this red line.
Okay.
And then from there, to begin playback, you hit Alt and M.
Okay, let's just show that there's the Alt key there, and then the M key, M for Mike. Okay.
And you press the two together. It starts the file. Let's say he stops right here.
Okay, right. So we were listening. Essentially, if we had the sound on, we'd be listening, and we'd hear that the first speaker, let's call it researcher. Our convention is to have a researcher and a participant, so we call the first one researcher 1. So that's, say, researcher 1 went on for like the first, 5 seconds? Okay, so, and you did that again with what keystrokes?
Alt and M.
Right, so Alt-M like stops it?
It starts and stops.
Starts and stops, okay. Okay. So we've got a first segment for the first person who spoke, and that's the researcher 1. Okay.
Right. And then to create the speaker, you hit Control and N.
Oh, Control N. Okay, the Control key and then the N key. Okay, go. So once he did that, we have this little thing to explain who this speaker is.
And we'll just name him Bob.
Well, let's make it researcher 1, because that's what our people need to do,
Okay.
right? So, and notice, lowercase researcher, no space 1. Of course, if you're not in the Sav Lab, you can do whatever in the world you want to. Okay.
Then you hit OK.
Okay, so now we have that first researcher, the green line. We're eventually going to put type what they say, but not quite yet. We're just going to segment into researcher 1 and what's the other one? Participant 1, and alternating turns between researcher 1 and participant 1. Okay.
And then to begin the next segment, all you need to do is just press Alt and M again, and it'll pick up where you just last left off. So hit it again.
Alt M.
Right there.
So we can see it's moving along, it's playing back. We have the sound turned off, but it's playing back that.
And then let's say he stops here.
Okay, so we're listening, and we
Alt
hear
M
him
again.
stop, and we hit Alt M right where he stops.
And then create the speaker again. If this is a new speaker, Control N.
Right. Okay, so Control M, we've sort of created a new speaker, but it's calling it researcher 1.
Because it doesn't know that it's a different speaker. So in which case we right-click.
Oh.
And then you go to Assign New Speaker ID.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then rename this. In this instance, it'll be Participant 1.
Uh-huh. Again, lowercase p, no space 1. Participant 1. Okay. Hit
And there we
enter.
go.
Ah, so now we've got a red participant 1 and a green researcher. Okay.
And then we know in these kinds of interviews that it's going to alternate between the researcher and the participant. So in this instance, we can go up to this box up here, and we can click on the speaker we know is going to be next. In this case, it'll be researcher.
Oh, so we clicked on that.
And then when you do Alt-M again to begin your next segment, and stop it again here, and then create speaker, it'll immediately jump to the box that you clicked.
Oh, because you told it by clicking this box.
Exactly.
So it makes this next guy, this next turn, to be researcher 1's turn. Okay.
Exactly.
So let's pretend that on this tape there's only, each person only has 3 turns. So it's researcher 1, participant 1, researcher 1, participant 1. That's 2 turns, and then the third turn will be researcher 1, participant 1. Going back and forth in a conversation. 3 turns per person. So let's pretend, so let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And, okay, right, so you click that, and then what?
Then you hit Alt-M.
Right. And Alt-M again, right? Okay, so there it goes.
Then over to here again.
All right, back to researcher 1. Okay.
Then down here.
Alt-M again, right?
And then Control-N.
Oh, Control N.
After hitting Alt-M. Remember, Control-N is to add the speaker.
Oh, okay, so Control M for mic. Oh, no, Alt-M.
Control-N for, I guess, new speaker.
Uh-huh. And Alt-M for mic starts and stops the tape, right? Okay.
And I guess one more.
So that's Alt-M.
Yes. And then Control-N. There you go.
Okay. So I guess we have 3 turns now, right?
Yep.
And we can see research, green, red, green, red, green, red. Okay. Great. So now let's just pretend that so we go back. Oh, so you go back there and you click there.
So whichever file or whichever piece of audio that you want to work on, you just click on the corresponding.
Right. Can you show that? So you click. So there,
let's
you're
say
just about to click on participant 1, the first participant 1 turn, but don't yet. So now, you click right now. So see the blue box move to that second spot, and then go to the next one, researcher 1, click on it, and see now the box is over the second turn for researcher 1. Okay, great. So let's type in some things.
Okay.
Like let's pretend that we're listening. So pretend you're listening and you hear him say the cat sat on the mat.
Okay. So researcher 1 says the cat sat on the mat.
And so how do you hear him say that, though.
Yeah, you're gonna, to do playback, you hit the tab key.
Oh.
So whenever you have your